Hello, everyone. We have made it to the first episode of Who the F Wrote That. Alan, being the good sport that he is, came on with very little details for a show that might end up being stupid for your entertainment. What this show is, yes, he has no idea what this is. He has a vague idea what this is. I very briefly said it, but I did not explain it well. This is the show where he has to use his power of unverified assumptions and prejudice and stereotyping to figure out who the F wrote that line. So I have here a total of 11 possible points. It's 10 questions. There's one bonus question. One of these lines is going to be written by one of your favorite authors of all time, in one of your favorite books. And these are all going to be multiple choice questions.
So thank goodness.
Yeah. You don't have to just make it up. So it's going to be line. There's going to be 4 options for one of them. Well, really, the first 6 questions are like that. And then the last 4 is I've got 4 authors and 4 quotes, and you can try and match them.
Okay, cool. Thank goodness it's a word bank.
Yes. But one of the questions, all the answers are a lie, and it is just one of your favorite authors. You can actually get 2 points for that. 1 point if you go, this is the trick question. None of these idiots wrote that because they're not smart enough because this is too good, which is why it's one of my favorite books.
Okay, so the one that is from one of my favorite authors' favorite books, it is hiding as it is not one of the responses.
And you get 1 point if you're like, this is the bonus question. You get 2 points if you're like, this is the bonus question and this is the author who wrote that. I'm going to note the bonus question is not going to be some like famous quote. Like it's not going to be like Vimes's Boots monologue, because then obviously you would just be like, that's Vimes's Boots monologue. And yes, the prize is that, Alan, you get to yell at me for how stupid or fun this is. I have done this once.
Sorry, I'm yelling at Mitch.
I have done this once randomly in Discord with someone named Fess, and he had fun doing it. And I did send these questions to someone. I was like, does anyone want to try these to see if they're like possible? And then someone volunteered, but it's someone who's read like 3,000 books and has an outrageous memory. So he was a horrible test candidate because he just got like everything right. Anyway,
so have I read all these books, or
no? You've read none of them.
I haven't read any of these.
Yes, it's mostly authors you haven't read.
Oh my gosh!
The problem is you were actually harder because there's so many authors you've randomly read like one book by.
That's right.
5 years ago. So if you read like one book by something or a couple, I was just like, whatever. I'll still take quotes
That's
from there.
Fine. Like you could easily use Guy Gabriel Kay. I've only read Tagana. So, he could easily.
That's a great example. Yeah, that's like one book. If, he's got 15. Except, the bonus question, which I would also like to note in the event of trying to metagame that deciding like what the correct answer was determined by random number generator. So don't have to be like,
No, I do the same thing. I literally roll a 6-sided die when deciding where my correct answer for my tests go.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Can't metagame. Yeah. For sure.
I want to stop metagaming. Anyway, without further ado, let's get down to business. The first question is, who wrote this line, Alan? Who the F wrote this? Deep in the human unconscious is a pervasive need for a logical universe that makes sense. But the real universe is always one step beyond logic. Your answers are A, Brandon Sanderson, B, Ken Liu, C, Ursula K. Le Guin. Dispossessed doesn't count because you read it badly. Or D, Frank Herbert.
This is so hard. This is too hard. Show me the quote again.
All right.
Deep in the human unconscious is a pervasive need for a logical universe that makes sense. But the real universe is always one step beyond logic. Hang on a second. Like I don't know. Like, why does this quote sound familiar? Sanderson, Liu. Oh my gosh, it's not Sanderson. It's not stupid enough to be Sanderson. There's no jokes in it. There's no yucks in it. Ken Liu. I haven't read any Ken Liu yet. Ursula K. Le Guin. Does Ken Liu talk about the universe? Frank Herbert talks about the universe. It's not a Dune quote. That's not a Dune quote. Oh wait, is it Sanderson? Is that what they're saying? Is it Sanderson? Is that
Don't read the comments.
Did Sal just give me the answer?
Hey,
Nice.
stop reading the comments.
It's Brandon Sanderson. It's the one I eliminated.
Is that
the answer is Brandon Sanderson?
so what you need to know is don't listen to chat because that is not correct.
Dang it.
Sal let you down. This is from Dune. This is a Frank Herbert quote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all don't answer in the chat. Come on,
yeah,
guys.
I thought I didn't realize why are you looking at chat? Get chat out of there.
Because I didn't know the answer. So I was looking over there to see if anybody doesn't know how to like respect game show rules. Come on, guys. You watch Jeopardy.
I assumed that you knew to respect game show rules.
No, I'm a contestant. I'm gonna cheat like everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. I had no idea. I would not. Okay. So I stuck with my instincts and did not eliminated Brandon Sanderson until I let Sal steer me astray. All right, -1, whatever, 0.
Yeah. See, if you just trusted your instincts, I think you were like, no, it's not Sanderson. Just Kenley, you talk about the universe, probably not.
I didn't think it was
and
Kenley.
You were like,
I literally, I got into the last 2.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is trust your unverified assumptions based on your own prejudice more than chat.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I need to. All right. Okay, that's messed up. All right, here we go.
All right. Question 2 is, who wrote this line? Never do what you cannot undo until you've considered what you cannot do once you've done it.
Oh, my Lord.
This was written by one of A, Robin Hobb, B, Joe Abercrombie, C, Tad Williams, or D, Brian Lee Durfee.
Oh, my gosh. Show me again.
Never
do what you cannot undo until you've considered what you cannot do once you've done it.
Good advice.
This sounds like someone trying to be funny. Like, this sounds like someone who's trying to be funny. Switch back over to those answer choices. I'm going with Joe Abercrombie. I think, hold on. I don't know what Robin Hobb is, but like, if that's an example of Robin Hobb's like prose, all you people who love Robin Hobb so much, what? Tad Williams, it's I mean, maybe, but Tad Williams, it's just like seems, isn't he like old school? Then y'all stop answering in the chat.
Yeah, stop looking at chat, Alan.
Well, I can't. It's like the third of my screen.
I don't know. Click banners or something. You can click something. Click private chat on the right.
Yeah, I suppose I could.
Was that? I suppose I could. I'm going to do that, and I've done that now, so can't see chat.
No, I just said I could. Brian, yeah, I'm sticking with Abercrombie. I'm saying it's Abercrombie.
All right.
I think it's trying to be funny. I think it's tongue in cheek.
This time, chat was not lying, and the answer is A, Robin Hobb.
Can y'all stop? Like, seriously, can y'all quit putting answers in the chat? Like, seriously, just stop. Stop, guys. Like, y'all know how to play. Y'all know how to freaking play quiz shows. Just quit. Just quit. You can say, I think I know this. Y'all stop putting answers down. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Shockingly, Derry knew this.
That really
right
freaking? Oh yeah, and if y'all doing that too, that's what I should have seen. I should have seen Derry saying I know this, and then immediately assumed it was Hobb. You're right. You're right. You know what? Y'all keep writing your crap. Then it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Anyway, we are moving on.
Really? What book is that from, Jake?
Assassin's Apprentice. I think, and Assassin's Fate. I think it's from multiple books. That's an in-world saying.
Really?
Yeah. It's good advice. I think to myself, I shouldn't do that. Can't undo it. Got to consider what you cannot do once you've done it.
I don't know about all that, guys. Like,
no, you gotta. It's good advice,
No, I literally thought someone was trying to be funny by saying something so nonsensical. Oops.
Well, that's okay.
Hey, Derry. That's not a good way to get me to read Robin Hobb.
That is why this show is Who the F Wrote That, presumably from a bunch of people you haven't read who are therefore bad and not as good as these.
Why would someone write that?
It's a good question that can only be answered by reading The Realm of the Elderlings. But moving on to question 3, which is who wrote this line?
Oh, hold on. I can't wait for all the answers that go in the chat.
Yeah. Click private chat on your right.
No, because sometimes people say things that are relevant to my interests. Like the chat is for chatting, not for answering.
I'm like, how do I stop these people? I didn't mean to, Derry.
Sorry. What? Like, there's no way that quote was serious.
Well, you'll have to read it and find out. Make me mod so I can ban people.
What's
That's
next?
not a terrible idea.
What is
All
the
right.
next quote?
The next question is also, you might be screaming a little. You shouldn't be screaming. You should be dead. You should have died before your children. You should have died at birth and never lived to bear them. Which is one of A, Fonda Lee, who I guess you have technically read some of, whatever. One book, doesn't count. B, Simon Jimenez. C, Cormac McCarthy. Or D, N.K. Jemisin.
What the frick? You might be screaming a little. You shouldn't be screaming. You should be dead. You should have died before your children. You should have died at birth and never lived to bear them. I mean, that's pretty bleak. But does Cormac McCarthy have like that long of dialogue? Doesn't he like write? Well, no, he's got super long sentences. There's that one in Blood Meridian that's like a paragraph long. Go back to the choices.
All right, the choices are Fonda Lee.
It could be Fonda Lee. That sounds like something one of those stupid clans could say. Simon Jimenez, no idea. I would literally be shooting in the dark with Simon Jimenez. I have no idea. So I'm getting rid of Simon Jimenez as a choice because I have no basis upon which to make that. N.K. Jemisin, also have never read an N.K. Jemisin sentence. Though Fifth season.
Fifth season is correct.
Right. Yes. Because it's in second person. That's the only thing I know. Is this in second person?
You figured that out.
Nice.
By the way, the person who I sent this to, who had read like every book who tried this, he didn't realize that and got that wrong. So you got the point that Faber didn't get. And I was like, Faber, it's in second person. Now, Simon Jimenez also writes in second person a little bit, but you can
dodge the bullet.
But you can immediately I mean, Cormac might. I don't know. Cormac does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
But someone did bring up that it has too much punctuation to be Cormac McCarthy.
Look, I'm not looking at the chat, so I didn't even see all that. So while I was eliminating, it just came to me. I just remembered that fifth season has second person, and that's what I went with. Boom.
Good work. We have used the power of logic.
One of 3 points.
Yes. I'm going to guess that there's not going to be a lot of high scores because this show is deliberately stupid. So
no, it's fine. I was not looking at the chat.
Yeah. So like 3 or 4 might be a tough score to beat.
Look, I always, whenever I set my challenges, Charmaine always gets on to me because I make the point threshold way too high for me to succeed. So look, if I get 4, I'll be pleased. How many are there? 11?
There's 11 possible points.
Right.
It's 10 questions, but you can get 2 if you get the bonus.
Oh, gotcha. All right, let's go.
It's 1 if you get that it is a bonus question, 2 if you get like this author wrote that.
Gotcha.
The next one is who wrote this line. It's a longer quote. It required multiple things on the banner. The memory of the morning's foul message flooded back into him, but not so deeply as before. It would rise and fall, he knew. He would be jarred by the loss of his friend again and again and again, but less and less. It said something that he didn't want to know that morning had become familiar. Become so familiar. I misread that slightly. The options are A, Gene Wolfe, B, Jim Butcher, C, Guy Gavriel Kay, or D, Scott Lynch. Please ignore that 2 of those don't have letters on the banner. We have very high production values here.
Look, unlike my students, when I see 4 items in a row and 2 of them have letters, I can intuit that the second one is B and the third one is C. They raise their hand and say, what should I put here? I'm like, what? Let me see the quote again.
All right. So the quote, I'll read it again because it's long. The memory of the morning's foul message flooded back into him, but not so deeply as before. It would rise and fall, he knew. He would be jarred by the loss of his friend again and again and again, but less and less and less. It said something he didn't want to know that morning had become so familiar. And these are your options.
So I don't know. It seems like it makes too much sense to be Gene Wolfe. And everything I hear about Gene Wolfe is like, it's just blah, blah. So I don't know. Maybe
this is the exact type of logic I was looking for when I made this show, by the way.
No, all anybody talks about is Gene Wolfe. It's like, oh, Alan would hate Gene Wolfe. And I don't necessarily hate that quote. Like, that quote's fine. Jim Butcher, that doesn't, it could be Dresden, but it doesn't seem, it could be Dresden. I guess Dresden has friends. But if it is, I haven't noticed that kind of writing in Dresden, though it's been a hot minute since I read Dresden. GGK, I mean, I guess it could be GGK. Scott Lynch, maybe? Or does Locke have any other friends besides John? Because I know he ain't dead. So I'm eliminating Gene Wolfe. Let me leave the other two. Man, I bet it's
Big if true.
Like, maybe it's gonna be Dresden. I don't think it's GGK. I don't think it's GGK. I think it's fancy, but I don't think it's fancy enough. Though I've only read Tagana, which I hear is his most like kind of elevated.
I don't
like,
necessarily agree with that.
really? Okay, cool. Let me look at it one more time.
All right.
Morning style message. You know what? No, I'm going with Scott Lynch. I'm going with Scott Lynch. Let's lock Lamora.
D. Scott Lynch is locked in. This was the bonus question, so you are vindicated for thinking that it was well written. This was written by Daniel Abraham.
Oh, of course it was. Oh no, it's Long Price Quartet.
He's Long Price Quartet.
It's
Don't say he's talking about it.
Oh no, it's Long Price Quartet.
Yeah, which actually, in a way, is vindication because you were like, I think it's too good to be Jim Butcher. So you know what? You didn't act because the real metagame of this show is not to get a lot of points. It's to insult all the authors you haven't read and compliment the passage from the bonus question. And you have succeeded at this metagame.
I forgot that there was a bonus question. I forgot that it couldn't be that. Dang. Okay. All right. Well, you know what, Abraham? I gave you some props. Sorry, Jim Butcher, for not thinking that you could write like that. And Scott Lynch, I thought it could be. It sounded Scott Lynchy-ish from what I've read of Locke Lamora. All right, well, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate.
We have a slight change in format because the next question is not who wrote this line.
Yeah, now you give me
one of these lines. No, there's one different one before that. One of these quotes was written by Christopher Ruocchio. I'm going to give you 4 quotes. And you can pick which one was written by Christopher Ruocchio.
I've never read anything by Christopher Ruocchio.
You're going to have to engage in prejudice, Alan.
I have no frame of point. All right. Well, they better all 4 be about space.
But wouldn't that make it harder if all 4 were about space? Because
no, maybe just one of them was about space. All right.
Yeah. That being said, I was mean.
Is it the one that says "I am Hadrian"? Pick that one.
Yeah, it's like I am the Sun Eater. That's
I am
Hadrian,
Sun Eater.
So quote number 1 is, "It is difficult for me to concentrate on the events of the next few minutes. Perhaps everyone holds in his subconscious certain moments of horror, as our oubliette held. In its lowest inhabited level, those clients whose minds had long ago been destroyed or transformed into consciousness no longer human like them." This quote's too long. And I apologize. "These memories shriek and lash the walls with their chains, but are seldom brought high enough to see the light."
All right. I mean, it could be. It's first person. Let's go.
B is a bit of dialogue. "Note, please, that what I offer is power, not revenge. Revenge is too expensive a luxury. Commanders can't afford it." I would like to say, in hindsight, future Jake, make the quotes for this version of the question all shorter. These are way too long. Note. C, "Who had built it in the deeps of time, and to what purpose? Who had quarried out these caverns and raised these walls?"
Malazan. Move on. Erickson. It's not that one. Move to 4.
Okay. "The gathered masses had surprising patience. I would have expected shouts and curses, but they waited, distant, like parents watching their infant take its first unaided step. As the strength to speak gathered slowly in my shaking frame, I did shake, though I did not know it at the time. The video shows me a sickly, pale skeleton, digging my fingers into the tired brown hat that I clutched as if squeezing it enough that I could shrink myself and disappear."
Tired brown hat. I don't know. How far in the future is it? Is there video? I'm crossing it out. There ain't no video. I'm crossing it out. It's 1 or 2. All right, go back to 1.
All right, 1 is
tired brown hat. Is the Sun Eater carrying a hat around? No, it's not. It's no, that one's Dresden. All right, move on. What's number 8? Let's go. "Difficult for me to concentrate on events in the next few minutes. Perhaps everyone holds in his subconscious certain moments of horror, as our oubliette held." Next, "In its lowest inhabited level, those clients whose minds had long ago been destroyed or transformed into consciousness no longer human. Like them, these memories shriek and lash the wall with their chains, but are seldom brought high enough to see the light." That's not Red Rising for sure. And what's the next one? Note, please, that what I offer is power, not revenge. Revenge is too expensive a luxury. Commanders can't afford it. Maybe that one is Red Rising. I don't know. I'm saying A. I'm going with A. All right, Sun Eater, A.
A is not correct. A is Gene Wolfe. That is from Book of the New Sun.
Oh, I should have guessed that. I should have guessed
by how convoluted it is. Yep.
Yeah. You said oubliette, which is a good word.
Such a Book of the New Sun word. Yeah. I bet everyone in the comments, I wasn't looking at it, saw oubliette, and everyone who had read Book of the New Sun was like that. This is from Vorkosigan. It's actually C, the one you immediately thought was Malazan.
Really?
Yeah.
All I heard is all I saw is who had built this. I'm like, this is a Carian bullcrap. Get it out of my face. Get it out of my face.
No, Hadrian can be melodramatic with the best of Erikson characters, which has now been proven.
What is the rest of this quote? You read it.
Who has built it in the deeps of time, and to what purpose? Who had quarried out these caverns and raised these halls? Whose hands had placed those chipped square columns in the vast and empty space, hanger-like, that processed down one arm of that seemingly endless complex?
Okay, so I should have let you read the whole quote.
Yes,
there ain't no hangers in math.
Yeah, one could yet see where the mark of some ancient travel had smoothed the cement, and badly, and I was alone. Yeah, that one you might have had a solid chance at had you actually
if I'd have seen hanger. If
the
whole quote had been on the screen at once.
Sorry, I picked quotes that are too long, So if in the future, if someone beats your score, you can be like, yeah, but I deal with the longest quotes for the BS.
Is it true that Ruocchio plagiarized Dune, Book of the New Sun, and Malazan? Is that
he actually somehow plagiarizes every single book that's ever been written with every sentence. He just copies sentences from every single book, and every sentence is just a sentence from it. No one's figured this out, but no, of course I'm lying. Okay. I just find it funny how people can be like, yeah, it just is a ripoff of like 6 things that are all completely different. And I'm like, how can you rip off all 6 of those things at the same time? Like, that doesn't seem plausible.
Yeah. Parker uses oubliette a lot, but I was like, that's not a Parker book. And also, I read Parker, so he wouldn't be up there.
Yes, unless it was the bonus question. But also, it would have been hard because I don't really have Parker books that I can just read through without spoiling myself. So,
that's true. All right, next, what we got?
Next, we have 4 authors.
4.
Yeah, and then 4 quotes.
I got matches.
I will say for this one, you do not have to get all 4, and then like I'll be like, that's wrong or right. You can say like, if there's one you're the most confident about, you can say that first, and I will tell you if it is right or wrong. So
give me the 4. I'm gonna write them down on this piece of paper. Give me the 4.
All right. So the 4 authors. All right, I have to scroll down through all these long ass sentences I wrote. 4 authors are authors that we've seen before. Here is Ursula K. Le Guin, Robin Hobb, Ken Liu, and Joe Abercrombie.
All right, I'll pick the dumbest one for Robin Hobb. You hear that, Derry? The one that sounds.
All right, Derry is going to declare war on you.
I don't know what to tell her. Oh my gosh, I thought it was a joke. All right, what we got?
So quote number 1 is, I think willingness to suffer is the only antidote to arrogant reformers and philosophers who advocate idealized but flawed policies for the people without fear of personal consequences.
So I mean, I agree. That's a good one. Is that from Age of Madness? I don't know. Go
is
on.
That an actual guess, or do you want to hear?
No, it's not a guess. Okay. It's not a guess.
2, he is dead, and I, the self-serving coward that I am, still live. Life is not fair.
Like, I see the quotations at the beginning. Is this like a dialogue quote?
No, I think that quotation was a typo. It is not.
Okay. All right.
I believe it is internal monologue. He is dead, and I, the self-serving coward that I am, still live. Life is not fair. There is no pattern. People die at random. Something everyone knows, but no one truly believes. They think that when it comes to them, there will be a lesson, a meaning, a story worth telling, that death will come to them as a dread scholar, a fell knight, a terrible emperor. Death is a bored clerk with too many orders to fill. There is no reckoning, no profound moment. It creeps up on us from behind, and snatches us away while we shit.
All right, I don't think it's Robin Hobb. I don't think she's just about poo-poo. I have no idea.
These are the 4 authors again, by the way.
Yeah, I got them written down.
Okay. Quote number 3. He knew now that the knowledge was hard, that his task had never been to undo what he had done, but to finish what he had begun.
Hold on. Keep that one there. I was spacing out. I was actually thinking of the last quote. He knew now this was hard. His task had never been to undo what he had done, but to finish what he had begun. Well, that's kind of lyrical. Next.
And number 4 is sometimes it seems unfair that events so old can reach forward through the years, sinking claws into one's life and twisting all that follows. Yet perhaps that is the ultimate justice. We are the sum of all we have done, added to the sum of all that has been done to us. There is no escaping that, not for any of us.
All right, I'm gonna say that number 2 is Joe Abercrombie, and
That is correct.
is it Glockta? Is it Glockta?
No, it's from the Heroes. I actually forget who says it.
That's fine.
But that is correct. Figure that out by how like kind of nihilistic and
no, it was just someone taking a crap while they died.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah, it's very Abercrombie-esque. Yeah.
Abercrombie's the only one I think able to do that.
I thought you'd have a solid chance of getting that one.
All right. Go back to number 1. Just let me read through them real quick. I think willingness to suffer is only to do it for arrogant reformers and philosophers who advocate ideal societies for flawed policies, not fear of personal consequences. Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, that's
all right. Number 3. We knew now, and the knowledge was hard, that his task had finished what he begun. Next. Sometimes it seems unfair that years so old can reach forward to years seem close in one life, twisting all that follows it.
Yet, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, perhaps it's ultimate justice with the sum of all that we've done, added the sum of what we've done to us. There is no escaping that, not for any of us. What's the first part of that quote? Sometimes Vince so old can reach. Vince so old. Reach forward to twisting all that follows it. And what's number 1 again? Willis suffers here.
See that brain spinning. We're getting mad scientist smart Alan from the thumbnail. Yeah. I can feel it.
I'm gonna say that 4. Only because, and this is this is what game shows make you do. Like this, you watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you're like, who cares? Like, just freaking make a guess. Like these people, well, I know that north is up on the compass rose, and it's just just freaking make a guess. But that's not good TV if they just go I'm gonna say north. Or whatever.
But have you ever seen the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Just answered every question instantly, basically.
No, but that's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, he'd interrupt the question. They'd just be like, A, this, B, and it'd be like, B, final answer.
I bet they hated him for that. That's bad TV.
Yeah, he got wrecked because they lost because for one of them he didn't know, so he asked the expert, and the expert led him astray. So
hilarious.
Yeah.
Rip. Okay, so just a complete shot in the dark because I don't the first one could be Le Guin because it mentions philosophers and whatever, but it also seems too interesting to be Le Guin. But the last one,
that's the kind of commentary I was hoping for.
Yeah, the last one talks about events so old, and I just think it's either going to be Le Guin or Liu in Dandelion Dynasty. He's talking about crap that happened a really long time ago. Though now that I've said that, this was probably Hob. You know what? I'm sticking with 4 as Le Guin. I'm going with Le Guin as 4. Is that right?
That is not correct.
All right.
Now I have to figure out if I tell you who 4 is. I think I just tell you it's not correct.
You don't. So I lost that one. So I still have 3 options for the other 2 choices. Well,
yes.
That's and though I know that Le Guin goes with one of the other 2. Let me see 3. Finish what he had begun. What's 1? One's a philosopher one. African arrogant reform. I mean, I like that one. Is that Le Guin? Maybe she can win. She can get more points back if that's Le Guin.
That is not Le Guin.
Oh, it's the sucky 3rd one. All right, Le Guin.
Le Guin is the 3rd one.
I got 1.
So yeah, that's.
I got 2. I got half of those. Hold on.
Yes, you did. You got 2.
Let me try to re-guess those other 2 for no points.
Yeah, sure.
And what's 2? No,
I got 2. You got 2 is the Abercrombie
4
one. This is 4 is this one, 2-parter.
All right. Is that one Hob?
This one is Robin Hobb. Yes.
Okay, and number one, that means number one is Ken Liu.
Number one is Ken Liu.
Oh,
So get on some Dandelion Dynasty. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm supposed to read that this month.
Yeah. Get on it. It's excellent.
That excites me. I like that quote.
Yeah, this one is Ken Liu. It's from Dandelion Dynasty. This one is from the Heroes. The Le Guin one, I tried to trick you a little bit. The Le Guin one is from Wizard of Earthsea, which is why it kind of feels not super Le Guinish compared to what you've read. And then, yeah, this is from Realm of the Otherlings. All right. So that gives you a score in the normal game of 3 out of 10, which I think doesn't sound very good, but actually...
I got two. Didn't I get 2 of the previous ones?
No, I believe you just got the second person one.
That's it. That's the only
yeah.
I got one and 2 here.
Yeah. Oh. The first one was Dune, and you guessed Brandon. The second one you guessed Abercrombie, and it was Hobb. The third one you got right because the second person. The fourth was the bonus question, but you won the meta game there because you were like, "This one's really good," and then it was Daniel Abraham.
I have a ghost point. I've got 3 and 1 ghost point.
That's like it's a moral victory. You know, you definitely won a moral.
Those
victory
are the best kind. So
imagine how much more upsetting it would be if you got 7 out of 10, but you got a quote that came up and you were like, "Well, that's stupid. What idiot wrote that?" And then it was Daniel Abraham. Like,
oh, I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's really
complimented the quote.
Yeah, I have to tell you, that's actually the secret entire goal of this show is to get someone to call
bad mouth. Yeah. So guys, the meta when coming on the show is to compliment all the quotes. Be like, "Yo, that's really thought-provoking."
No, that's no fun. You have to entertain the people. But then if you compliment all the quotes, people are gonna be like, "So you got to read it, then, man. You got to read it."
Oh
look,
yeah,
you said it was so good. There actually is no escaping. No, that's all the questions.
I thought there were 10.
Yeah. So we've had
the Ruocchio one was 6.
Or maybe I can't count. That's 9, and I can't count while making this show. So it's out of 10 if you get 2 points from those questions. I guess they're all of 9.
Go find another one now. Go find me another question. Pull out one of those that you did with Fester.
With Vest, those were just random ones. Like I was going and reading and opening to them. They're out of 9 now until the end of time.
Give it.
I don't have those. Those were years ago. Those are from. I did that like 2 years ago.
What?
They're out of 9 now. Okay, they're out of.
It's not making out of 9.
It's out of 10 because you can get 2 for the bonus, so it's technically 10 maximum points.
I was told it was out of 11. Give me another question. Go get one. I will wait here with these people.
Yeah, sure. Who wrote this? And line 1 is the monologue about boots.
Stop. You go find me a real question.
All right. Should I turn off my camera and you have to entertain chat and you can rant about your day for the next 5 minutes?
Go find me another question.
I will go make another question. All right. 1 second. I'm turning my camera and mic off while I do this. Entertain, chat. You can rant about stuff. You're good at filling time.
Sal, I did call the Le Guin quotes terrible because they're not good. So, all right. So there we go. All right, guys. So I'm here. I'm here to look after y'all. Look, I'm here to make sure y'all do not get shortchanged by this corrupt government that controls this channel. Because you guys are the real hard workers and deserve what you were promised. We're not going to let these people renege on their promises. We're not going to do it. So, I mean, look, it's not bullying it is being assertive and forcing people to deliver what they promised. And I don't know what I'm trying to click on your comments, Sal. I'm trying to click on these comments and they'll pop up. It's not my channel. No, Sal, I did not enjoy any of those quotes I read by her. And I am fighting for y'all. Thank you, Charmaine. Charmaine's showing some gratitude. The rest of y'all are just like my students. No gratitude for the good deeds that I'm doing for y'all. The events of past reaching out. That was a good quote. The other one was not. That was a good quote. Hey, so y'all explain to me. Hey, y'all in the audience who know about like facial care or beauty products. You see my freaking like how like dry like around my nose is and my T-zone. How do I fix that? How do I stop my face from getting so freaking dry right there? How do I fix it? I am the benevolent leader that y'all all need, Charmaine. It may not be the one that y'all deserve. I did. You're right. You're right, Eric. I did say it sounded lyrical. I did like the way it sounded, but I didn't like the quote itself. Evie, I ain't taking that bait. I ain't in the mood for that foolishness right now. So if you're trying to bait me, don't. And if you're not trying to bait me, I really don't want to hear it. I'm so foul. Anything with vitamin E. What do you just like? Do you just like rub vitamin E on your face? I don't know how to do that. What's with what plaster? What? Cat, what? What plaster? Is there plaster in my house? Face cream with vitamin W? Oh, vitamin E. Coconut? I don't want to rub no nasty coconut crap on my face. I hate coconut. It's disgusting. Oh, the Band-Aid? Oh, my wife decides it to when she was, I don't know, opening something in a can for the baby, left the can, like the thing that you cut open, like on
I'm back.
the counter. When I tried to clean it, I sliced my thumb open.
Oh no.
And I call it Band-Aid. I'm sure it's called plaster somewhere else. Shut up, Mitch. You shut up.
I just heard that you cut your thumb. That's no good. I'm back. I've made a question. I was late for the other ones. Like I read through the book this time. I was just looking at quotes on Goodreads. So
doesn't matter.
You know
doesn't matter. Let's do it.
I also don't have a banner for it.
Don't
so you
care.
just have
Read
to
it.
remember what I say.
That's fine.
10. Which of these lines was written by Ted Chiang?
Ted Chiang. What did Ted Chiang even write? Short stories?
Yeah, he wrote Exhalation and other stories, and the stories of your life and others.
Has he written anything that isn't a short story?
I don't. If he has, I haven't read it.
What?
You wanted 10th question. This is the 10th question.
All right, you're right. You're right. I can't. I just can't be choosers.
A. Though I am long dead, as you read this, explorer, I offer you a valediction. Contemplate the marvel that is existence, and rejoice that you are able to do so. I feel I have the right to tell you this because as I am scribing these words, I am doing the same. B. Every act of communication is a miracle of translation.
No, shut up with that. No. No.
C.
Isn't that one from the Paper Menagerie? That first the Miracles translation one? Or is that a stupid R.F. Kuang?
I'm not gonna tell you that. You can I'll tell you after the question.
Translation is an act of war or whatever.
Which is the opposite of what I just said, actually, because I said every act of communication is a miracle of translation. Anyway,
yeah, I know. Yeah. What is Kuang's thing in Babel? Translation.
I think every act of translation is like inherently a betrayal or something. I don't know.
Oh
anyway, C. Grief suffocated, grief paralyzed, grief was cruel. Heavy boots pressed so hard against his chest that he could not breathe. And then D. Life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. I think it might be that one.
It's not D. All right, cool. I got three. I got three choices, and I'm not.
Right, I'm guessing I'm gonna have to
the RF Kuang one. It's A.
A is correct.
Yes,
it is A. And B is from the Paper Menagerie and other stories. And
is it from that first story about the aliens and the talking?
I think it might be from the preface.
Oh, whatever. I got it. Nice. I've read the first like two stories in
and C is actually from Babel by R.F. Kuang.
Oh, C was from Babel?
Yeah, because after I did B, I did the translation thing, and I was like, oh, I should have like a Babel quote.
And then I went again.
It's completely unrelated to translation. It's like grief suffocated, grief paralyzed, grief was cruel. Heavy boots pressed so hard against his chest that he could not breathe.
Oh my gosh. Yas Queen, get out of here.
And then D, of course, life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination is from Terry Pratchett, right?
No. It's from Way of Kings? Is that where he first says it?
It's from every Stormlight book. All of them.
All right, it's from all of them. All right. All right. You liked Wind and Truth, didn't you? Why does no one else like it?
I don't know. Kyle liked it too. So, you know, us.
But Kyle, yeah, whatever. Kyle is so far beyond reason making an unbiased judgment about Brandon Sanderson's works.
I'm not. I'm arguably more biased than he is.
Okay, well then y'all quit drinking the Kool-Aid and think for yourself, sheeple. How about
Well,
that?
I'll think for myself when he releases books that aren't awesome. See, Pete liked Wind and Truth as
Okay,
well.
then why does everyone else dislike Winning Truth
I
besides
don't
you
know,
three, who are
man.
the biggest fanboys I know?
I don't know, man.
Hey, you know who's a huge fanboy of KJ Parker? Me. And then I just read a book that was like, this is not good. Like, this is not good, Parker.
Hey, I've read Sanderson books that I'm like, is mid as hell.
Like what? But you can't say Frugal Wizard's Guide.
I was about to say Frugal Wizard because it was
Anything
the
else
most recent
besides
release one.
Frugal Wizard's Guide? What else? What else is not good?
I mean, so I haven't read a lot of it, but the section of White Sand in Arcanum
Do you think
Unbounded.
Alloy of Law is good?
I enjoy Alloy of Law. I don't know if I would say it's like really good.
No, okay, well,
I think it's
what
fun.
is in? How do you respond? Oh, Mike, no.
Yeah, see, we have the hater. See,
okay, so I don't.
like,
Okay, so no, like you people, like no, but Mike, like I can't throw Mike under the bus with the rest of y'all. Dang it, Mike. Mike has lent y'all legitimacy. He has given y'all some much needed.
I appreciate you, Mike. All right, so that means you got that one right, which means you get 4 out of 10, which is what the score I said at the beginning. I was like, a score of like 4 out of 10 might actually be hard to beat.
So can we admit that I'm a bigger Ted Chiang fan than Evie, since she didn't know that one?
Oh, did she say she didn't know that one?
Yeah.
Oh, she said I know this one.
No, she didn't. Scroll up.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know this one. Fake Ted Chiang fan. Ooh,
See?
Evie, you're in a tough spot here.
So I guess I'm a bigger Ted Chiang fan.
And look, when we have real fan, like Derry knew they Robin Hobb quotes instantly. Like there wasn't even a question.
That's true. You should have Evie on and make sure the bonus is a quote from Frankenstein or Wuthering Heights.
I have to tell you, Evie is going to be the next contestant.
That's amazing. Evie, you are going to get absolutely skunked by that bonus question, and it will be the worst things ever happen to you. Like, it'll be a three-peat of you not knowing a quote from your favorite book. So I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I would say overall, this was about as stupid as I was expecting.
No, it was actually
more, but it was more fun than I expected it to be. It was fun in a stupid way, but it was fun.
No, it was actually quite fun, and it didn't take up 3 hours of my time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people want to talk about these books, and it's like, what if we talked for 8 hours? And it's like, okay, well,
I'll talk with 8 hours for people. Evie, what do you have to say about Alan being a bigger fan of Ted Chiang than?
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Evie? How do you feel that I'm a bigger Ted Chiang fan than you are, since you clearly didn't know it? The problem is, Derry, is like none of them are going to be Hobb or Pratchett, so you're going to have to do other books. Man, that Gene Wolfe was about as Gene Wolfe as I expected it to be. I should have known.
By the way, do you realize how kind of mean I was with that one? Because those quotes were, it was Christopher Ruocchio. And one of the things we know about Christopher Ruocchio, sci-fi first person. So what did I have as my 4 examples? By the way, the other one, the 4 examples, I had Gene Wolfe, sci-fi first person, Vorkosigan, sci-fi first person, then I had Sun Eater, sci-fi first person, and I had Terra Ignota, sci-fi first person.
Yeah, I was hoping that you were not going to do that, but you
But in fairness, I did pick the most Sun Eater quote to ever Sun Eater, where Hadrian was being super melodramatic describing something.
What was the Terra Ignota quote? Throw that one up.
The bottom one. That was about the gathered masses. The gathered masses had surprising patience. I would have expected shouts and curses, but they waited, distant, like parents watching their infants take its first unaided step. As the strength to speak gathered slowly in my
video in it. That's right. Yeah. I thought that was Dresden. I thought it was Dresden because I was like, what other things?
Dresden, he may be many things, but he would not be a strictly pale skeleton. That man's 6'9". He might not be buff, but he is usually.
Hold on, is Harry Dresden really 6'9"?
Harry Dresden is 6'9".
Does Butcher know how ridiculous that is?
Yes, it's deliberately ridiculous because. So he's 6'9". I think Butcher's asked, like, why did you make your main character 6'9"? And it's because he wanted to make him as awkward as possible in everyday life, while also making him have the ability to be slightly scary without realizing it when he's mad at people.
Yeah, but he's immediately recognizable. Like, he's one of the like he can never hide. Like, does he hide any books? Because he can't.
No, he sucks at hiding. One of his more famous quotes literally ends with "fuck subtle," so he's not known for.
6'9", that's ridiculous, Butcher. Or that's too much. That's too much. Let me tell you how many times I've pictured him as 6'9" when reading those first three. Zero. That's too tall. That's too
He's
tall.
really tall.
He's not a giant. Like,
he's really tall.
That's ridiculous.
He is NBA height, and he's like even a tall NBA player.
That's ridiculous.
That man is the same height as LeBron James.
That's ridiculous. Is LeBron who's the tallest one? Is it Yao Ming? Isn't he the tallest?
Yao Ming, I think, was like 7. Oh no, it would have been Manute Bol was 7'7".
That's stupid. Is Manute Bol alive?
I think so. His kid is in the NBA now, who's also really tall.
7'7".
Yeah,
that's a giant. He's descended from the Indian king Porus. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I guess Jack Reacher's supposed to be 6'9" too. Does anybody know how inconvenient it would be for you to be that tall? It was not designed around 6'9" people.
Correct. Yes, this is one of the reasons Harry Dresden is 6'9".
I know.
Inconvenience him as much as possible.
What's Jack Reacher's reason?
I don't know. I think it's pretty funny that he's 6'9" because Jim just wanted to inconvenience him as much as possible.
I mean, that's not. No, it's one of those things. So making your character 6'9", it seems like one of those things that you do when you're in middle school and you're trying to make like a story and you're like, oh, and because Brian McClellan does this too in Promise of Blood, and there were 1,000,000 guys, or Herodotus does it, I guess, in history, and he was 7 feet tall and he punched them all with his magic fist or whatever. That's what it sounds like who sits there and thinks, you know what, I'm gonna make my guy 6'9", and he's not a giant. That's crazy.
You know who's the funniest with height? George Martin, who's like, no, is the mountain at 7 feet? No, he's closer to 8 feet than he is to 7, and he's jacked. Like everyone in A Song of Ice and Fire is so tall.
Hold on, really? Gregor Clegane?
Yeah, he's like 7'8". Yeah, he's like 7'8" and like jacked.
The problem is that's also ludicrous. Like that's too big. That's too big. It's too tall. Yeah. It's too tall. Is he a human?
Yes. Yeah.
It's too tall. It's too tall.
That's it is. Gregor Clegane is wildly tall. But George Martin has never claimed to be a master of scale, considering how large everything is.
Like, height like that, I don't picture that, guys. Like in my head, no one's that tall. Everyone is of average height.
It's also it's just hard to because of how little you run into 7 feet tall people in real life. Like, you know, if you run into someone who's 6'6", it's like, holy crap, that person is wildly tall.
When someone says when someone uses the word tall in a fantasy novel, I picture that person as 6 feet tall. That is how tall they're 6 feet tall. Like anybody else is like average height, 5'8".
Isn't Alex Tall Guy Reads, who doesn't super active, isn't he like close to 6'8"?
That's all. That's just. I mean, it's okay. Let's ask him how his. It's too tall, Alex.
I think I'm 6 feet if you round a little bit. I'm like 5'11 3/4.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Snap. I'm only 5'9", and that's on a good day where I'm not shrunken over.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Alex is 6'8", but in fairness, with a channel name like Tall Guy Reads, you better be tall.
It's too tall. It's too tall. All right. Well, this was fun. I enjoyed.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Chat. I would like to come back as a return. I would like to be a returning champion.
All right. Well, you do have to be a champion. What if
I am a champion? I got 4.
That is true. You are currently the champion.
That's true.
Who the F wrote that?
That's true. Make it hard for these other people too, so 4 stays the high.
Did Pete tell you? So there's the running joke that I don't have legs, and Pete's friend was at Dragonsteel. And he just being like, because it's a running joke, before I arrived, I was about to arrive at his hotel, was like, oh, by the way, like, Jake doesn't have legs, just letting you know. And his friend was like, that's a weird way to say, like, your friend has like a disability. And he was expecting me to come in with like a wheelchair there because he obviously doesn't know me not having legs as a running joke. And then when I walk in, he's just like really confused. It was very funny.
Oh, are you Pete? I am the champion. Yes.
Well, there's
score.
In fairness, 4 out of 10 is probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. It's also the high score, Sal. Who's gotten higher than me? Who scored higher than me? Oh, wait, nobody.
Well, Faber did, but whatever.
Who did? I don't.
Well, Faber who did the test, but that's because it wasn't one made for him because it was like mostly
right. He's not on, so he's not on the show.
So it doesn't count.
And also, he didn't get 5th season. So
that's true.
Faber.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Oh, Sam, yeah, Pete and I are the same height. All right, this was fun. Thank y'all for watching. And make sure that when he does it again, first of all, I'm gonna be in the audience so I can boo Evie. And then make sure y'all remind Evie that Alan was the previous champion.
Okay, I'll make a leaderboard and I'll make sure to put it
Make a
somewhere.
leaderboard.
And it's gonna be just you.
It's fine.
One.
I want to see it. Let's see it.
All right.
All right.
I'll make one in Canva in the next several months.
Fantastic.
Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for showing up. Thank you, Alan, for being my guinea pig for this show.